Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to continue by styling the navigation for the tablet. Currently, our phone is red and it has this all going on because of the mobile CSS that was provided. Tablet doesn't look like it's ready for anything. So let's go back to our phone default. It has some styling from our default template, which is not even necessary now because all of that styling is provided in this mobile menu CSS. So we're going to take that out and save it. Notice what that does. It's kind of got this gray looking thing here. Now it's nice and red just like it's supposed to be. So that takes care of that problem. Now we'll go to tablet. Tablet CSS, there's a little bit of navigation here which we'll look at in a minute, but let's just start over clean and start by talking to the nav wrapper. Now remember, it's an ID. There it is, nav wrapper. Now if I assign a background color, to the nav wrapper, remember the wrapper goes all the way around, so it should extend the full width of the desktop as well as the tablet. So I'm kind of forward thinking here and putting that color in the wrapper, not just in the nav itself. Now I don't want blue, okay? I want this nice gradient here instead. So this is a brown, and then here are 3 or 4 different versions of a gradient to replace that. So now I've got a brown gradient. Now the next thing we need to do is kick it over 2%. Notice right here this 2% gap. We want to push it over a little bit. So that is part of the unordered list, which goes immediately after that. 2% margin left. That kicks it over. Boom. Okay, now we need to make all of these items float side by side. From here on out, everything is a review of what we did in the previous unit, where we had the desktop navigation. Only in this case, we're moving it from desktop back to tablet because that's what our design calls for. So let's walk through this. We just did the margin left of 2%. Okay, now we're going to do the list items. Float them left and put a border on each side to kind of give them an embossed look. Then the anchors themselves display as a block, give them a nice color. Now notice this color, it's white at 90%. So the text color is not an actual color, it's an overlay. Which means that if I were to come up here and change this to, say, green, these would have a slight tint of green to them. So it makes it very flexible for changing my navigation out for future clients. Font size, padding, font weight. Okay, this is all review for you. Hover, once again, we're being smart and changing it to a percent of black. In this case, 000 is black at 0.8 or 80%. So when we mouse over or we hover, we're going to get 80% black instead of 90% white. Now the submenu items. So this is the nested list items that are the drop downs. Z-index to put them on top. Position them absolute and move them all the way over to the left. Way over to the left. Set their width. And then the list items by default are floated because the list items up here are floated. So we unfloat those, give them a border and a bottom. Graphic, this is just a line so we can see them. And then when we hover our mouse over the list items, we're going to set the child unordered list to automatically display immediately below, or the left becomes auto. And then we have a current color for the active state. So that was a review from what we did before. There's a quick redo. There they are. There's my hover, right? Left side becomes auto, so instead of being way out here in hinterlands, it's now immediately underneath. This line right here and underneath each of these items comes from this border here and here. And if we continue to the desktop, we've still got the phone navigation. So now we need to limit it so that this stops in the middle and doesn't keep traveling all the way to the edge. So in the desktop nav, we need to make a small change. Down here in navigation, we're going to talk to the nav. Remember, the nav lives inside of the nav wrapper. We'll give it a max width of 1140 pixels, which is what my design width is. And we'll float it to the center, which is this weird margin 0 auto. Okay, instead of center, which probably would make more sense, it's margin 0 auto. So now that kicks it over, so that as I widen this page, this nav stays right there. And we'll be able to see it better when we get the header and the content in place. The only thing we're missing at this point is a font. That font face you've done before many times. I won't waste time here doing it for you. I'll do it offline. But it functions from there to there to there. Now what we need to do is come back here and fix this color. I've gone back to my design documents. I've found the specified background color for my nav, which is not red. I go to the mobile menu, line 51, where I put that red color. I'm going to put my brown color in as a replacement. So instantly, with one change, I've got all of this magic going on here for the phone, which matches beautifully there and the desktop.